My name is Ed, and I'm joined here by my friends Dom.
Hey! Oh, wait, no, my God. I wasn't ready.
Well,
Hey!
we're going to keep it. Nope, we're keeping that.
All right,
And Tom.
Salutations.
And, oh, man. And today we watched Resident Evil 3 Extinction. In our last episode, we went over Resident Evil 1 and 2, and we subjected ourselves to number 3. So,
But at least it was just one.
we only watched one Resident Evil movie today, which was a lot better than the last time where we watched 2 Resident Evil movies. So
I wanted to go into number 4. I wanted to keep rolling.
I don't know if I could have. So let's just start out with the plot of the movie.
Wait. Before we get into the plot, because the second one had such a specific cliffhanger, what did you think the sequel would be?
What happened at the end of number 2? I completely
The end
erased
of
it from
number
my
2
brain.
is that she escapes
Oh,
Umbrella, and then we find out that she is like hooked up to a network of satellites
Hold
and
on.
may be able to be controlled.
She didn't escape Umbrella. They let
They
her
let
go.
her
They let her
go.
go.
We
so,
let her go.
So I don't know about you guys, but I had the feeling that there was going to be at least a movie where we see her maybe as bad Alice fucking over her team.
Yeah, you would think that that's where it would go.
right. Like they're like, oh, let's use her as an inside agent to screw over these guys that are clearly capable enough to break her out of a crazy lab. And like they drive off to some, city and whatever. I don't know. Anyway.
And also they had the vials for the serum, the antivirus, didn't they?
No. They only had they had one that we know of that they used.
Right.
And I don't think they showed
But they had the little girl, so the little girl was essential to the plot because wasn't she like a carrier of like
I thought she died in the helicopter crash.
oh, she might have died in the, I forgot about the no, isn't she in the car?
I don't know, man. Anyway, you'd think that this movie would like pick up in the city or something cool, but nope, it's in the fucking desert. Everything's a desert now.
But also the second movie ends with everything being covered up. Like they blew up the city and said it was a nuclear reactor and they got rid of all the zombies.
Yeah, they said on the news it was like there was no zombies here. Umbrella was the heroes.
It was
they
a
saved
hoax,
us.
but
Well, the like
oh.
that video that Alice made was a hoax.
Yeah. The Umbrella was the good guys in the eyes of the world. But they then 5 years have gone by.
Can we
and
confidently
And 5
say
years go by, and then the actual sequel happens.
Can we confidently say that the end of 2 has nothing to do with 3 at all?
Yeah.
Well, the bad scientist is in both,
Okay. Has 5% to do with the third movie.
and she is controlled by satellites.
7% to do with the third movie.
not a lot.
Not a lot. It's 5 years later. We're in the desert. And I would say let's talk about the plot, but nothing happens for the first 48 minutes of the movie.
That's fair.
Nothing.
That's a fair assessment.
Nothing happens.
Well, things happen.
They're
Things that don't. Things
not necessary to anything. They go into a gas station
Yeah.
or no, not they. It's just Alice goes into a gas station and she gets taken captive by a bunch of hooligans.
They don't really have any other goal other than to rape and kill her.
Right.
Yeah,
What is the goal? She has nothing that they want.
they're crazy backwoods people. Have you ever
Yep.
seen The Hills Have Eyes?
Okay, I have, and they are a poor representation of the Hills Have Eyes.
They have bad teeth. But they capture her and then she kicks a guy and then he's dead.
So then they put her in the battle pit.
Yeah. They put her in like a pit with dogs, same dogs from the other movie. Everyone had a Doberman.
Hey,
We're now 45 minutes into the movie and they like show this other convoy that's like 40 people deep and we don't know where they're just, as far as we know, they're just driving around in circles in the desert. Like, oh, we cleared out all those small towns. It's like, where are you going?
no real goal for them. Just looking for supplies.
Yeah,
But we do see some familiar faces, right?
Yup.
yeah.
Who?
All characters that I don't know the name of.
All the characters from the second one,
Yup.
except for Jill and the little girl. So that means 2 guys have returned.
Right. Oh, wait, Dom, you didn't read the back of the box.
Oh, okay. Let me see that
Here
back
it
of
is.
the box.
Here's the back of the box.
This will clue us in onto the plot, just in case you were really kind of getting a little confused because we're moving a little too fast for you. The box is here to help you. Okay. First of all, this is one of the best pictures of the year. Says, oh my God.
It's really small.
Sean Edwards of Fox TV, the reputable Fox TV. Okay. Alice, now hiding in the Nevada desert, once again joins forces with Carlos Oliveira. Okay, we know his name. He's Carlos. He's the Hispanic guy.
But he's very much from Israel. I IMDb'd him. He is the handsome Hispanic man who is not Hispanic and from Israel.
Well, they join forces with LJ and Kmart, a character I can't wait to get more in depth to, and Nurse Betty. That character never comes into play.
Yes, she does.
Oh, she's around.
Nurse Betty is a character?
Yes.
Yeah. She's
LJ's love interest.
LJ's medic and love interest.
Oh, wow. Okay. Didn't know that was her name. Okay.
Played by Ashanti.
Well, they try to eliminate the deadly virus that threatens to kill the planet itself.
Didn't do it. They didn't try to do that at all in the whole movie.
And to make every human being on Earth undead. And to seek justice. Why would they want to make every human being on Earth undead?
Wait, who's
Whose
saying
goal
that?
is this?
It says their goal is to try and eliminate the deadly virus that threatens to kill the planet itself, and to make every human being on Earth undead, and to seek justice.
Wait,
Wow,
undead,
that's-
like make them undead or make them undead? Like make them zombies or make them
It seems like the back of the box. They want to also make everybody. They want to save the world, but make everybody zombies,
the box
and also
is better in
seek
the movie.
justice.
It sounds like they were trying to explain what the T-virus was doing, but didn't set up that sentence correctly.
Just finish the rest.
Well, since being captured by the Umbrella Corporation, who created the virus, Alice has been subjected to biogenic experimentation and become genetically altered with superhuman strength, senses, and dexterity.
We saw that in the first movie.
Yeah, you and
the second movie,
Yeah,
right.
that's not
new.
news. These skills and more will be needed if anyone is to remain alive.
Especially to burn a bunch of birds.
Spoiler: no one remains alive.
Well, the back of the box is a lie.
Yeah,
There's nothing. That's not real.
Yeah, I don't think at any point they're actually seeking justice.
No, I mean, I guess Alice is trying to stop Umbrella, but everybody else in the convoy their goal is we need to survive.
Yeah. We got to go to Alaska
Let's go.
because of somebody's book that we found and while she was
Well, we're getting
hanging.
ahead of ourselves, right? Kind of.
Not really, no.
No, that's the
the
next
whole-
step.
that's-
Alice finds another gas station with a girl who hung themselves and finds her journal.
Yep, and in that journal, we realize Alaska is safe. We take her word for it. She's got sources. No, she has pictures of Alaska that are cut out from magazines.
And then Alice breaks her bike by taking a nap.
Yep.
So let's skip ahead to the plot.
There's no plot.
Well, once she meets up with the convoy and saves them from a bunch of killer ravens,
yeah,
crows?
crows. Yeah, crows.
killer crows that have been infected.
That's a great name for a band.
Killer crows. And she saves everybody from the killer crows by burning them all in a sweet, horrible CGI music video shot.
Yeah, it was cool. No, it wasn't cool.
She has that telekinesis power.
Oh, yeah, she stops fire from hitting. I already forgot all the
Carlos.
characters' names. Carlos.
Because he's Hispanic, so you have to have it
Right.
have him be Carlos.
But it has to be like Carl. It can't be too complex.
Right.
Gotcha.
So she saves everybody in the convoy, and you know what? Let's let her join. Let's let her join up on the convoy.
And
Yeah.
then they do. And then they're like, you know what? We only have enough gas to go to Las Vegas, so we'll go there. And guess what? It's under sand. 5 years later, and Las Vegas and its surrounding suburbs are completely covered in sand.
Yeah.
And then Umbrella Corp is like, we've found her. She looked up at this satellite.
Everybody knows where the cameras are.
Yeah.
Even zombies, they know exactly where the cameras are.
So they know that she's in Vegas, and they decide to drop a
Container.
shipping container.
Well, why do they want Alice? I don't recall.
They
For
need
her
her blood.
blood.
They need her blood, man.
Okay, the interesting thing about this is they need Alice. Let's go back. They need Alice. But in the second movie, they say, let her go.
But the second
And
movie
they
was
let
5
her
years
go.
earlier. It was 5 years earlier. Maybe they didn't know.
Oh, we also skipped the part where the main character of the franchise came into play again, the laser room.
Yeah. Okay.
with all the Alice clones.
I mean, that
getting
comes back.
killed.
That comes back multiple times in this
If
movie.
you're watching a Resident Evil movie, there's a 90% chance there's going to be a hallway with lasers in it.
Yeah.
So far, it's been 100%.
Was it in the second movie?
I don't know if it was.
It
in the
was
second.
in the
It
second
might have been in
movie.
a flashback.
Yep.
Actually,
It
Okay,
was. They
yeah.
They definitely showed it in the second movie.
Okay.
Maybe.
So so far we're 3 for 3.
We're 100% chance of
laser room.
laser hallway. So they, for some reason, the mad scientist gets the zombies all riled up and then puts them in a shipping crate and then drops the shipping crate near Alice's crew, and like it's like a normal shipping container, and like 150 zombies come out of it.
it's also very convenient that the secret scientist base is next to the place that Alice.
Las
and-
Vegas. They
Las
they,
Vegas.
they base their base out of Las Vegas.
This is exhausting to talk about because nothing happens. Like, skip forward, a bunch of people get punched, half the other people die, yada yada yada. The mad scientist gets bit and he injects himself with a whole bunch of virus cures, and
Which
then-
mutates him.
which turns him into a mutated guy, and he's got these tentacle fingers. And then Alice, for some reason, she lets her remaining crew pack out a helicopter with way too many people and go off to Alaska. We don't hear about them ever again.
That you know of.
No. In the third movie, we do not hear
Yeah,
from.
true.
Do you hear from them in the fourth movie?
I don't want to spoil it.
Ugh, fine. All right, next time.
But that helicopter is definitely going to Alaska.
Yeah.
One shot, one go.
Yep. So then she's like, all right, I guess I got to beat the boss.
Boss fight.
And she has a fight with the tentacle
fingers.
guy.
And the main character wins the fight. Laser
Yep.
room.
Okay, you're right.
Laser Room wins the fight.
I guess they were like, oh, he's regenerative. He can regenerate, the bad guy,
Regenerative.
and he can't be beaten. So what can beat him?
A laser room.
A laser room.
Laser
that can
room,
just
baby.
It's
chop you up.
almost as if they were like, the first movie really should have ended this way. Let's bring the laser room back so we can rectify that mistake. But the
Also,
rest of the movie is an entire
Real
mistake.
quick, we're in a different base than the first movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a different base.
They all have laser hallways.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
this one was a simulation for his Alice clones.
did we skip over the part that he's making clones?
Probably. They're by the way, they're making clones
Of Alice.
for
Do
just
something?
to be.
Well, they need Alice, so like we said, they need Alice. So let's just clone her. We can't have the real thing. Let's try and get some clones.
Yep.
Right.
So there's a whole shitload in a room in water bubbles.
So wait, Ed, this movie sounds like trash.
It was
It-
absolutely horrible.
It had to have done badly, right?
Nope. That's the joke. The joke's on everybody who spent their hard-earned money seeing this movie.
So what do we it made as much money as the first or the second one?
Nope. It made more.
Like a little bit more,
No,
like
like a lot more.
like just 1 million more.
So this movie cost $45 million to make.
Less than the second one, right? If I recall correctly.
I don't recall it.
I
Also,
recall-
yes,
the
you're right.
second one cost.
I think 60 million.
Oh, I didn't write that one down.
60,000 seems like.
Oh
a
no,
fair.
no. The budget was 45 mil.
Okay,
For the second one?
so
okay.
they're sticking to the $45 million budget, and this one brought in worldwide box office $147.7 million.
Hell yeah.
Hot damn. Hot Topic must have been doing great in
They
sales
made
also.
$102.7 million on this movie. So guess what?
We gotta make another
bet
one.
your sweet ass they're making more. So, despite being 22% on Rotten Tomatoes, and honestly, I'm surprised it got a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. That's
yeah,
kind of
that's
shocking.
surprising.
Because nothing happened. I wrote down there was honestly no underlying point to this movie at all. Alice does what? Finds people, fights a few guys, then makes a vague threat to other Umbrella guys at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think it was just to move along to the next movie, really, for some reason. Why we couldn't have the next movie now. Skip the third one, go to the fourth.
So
well,
nothing.
we already.
They banked $100 million. That was the point of this movie. There
Of
was
course.
no like.
Well, you gotta credit them. They started adding some. I think in the second one they only had 2 links to the game, which was Nemesis and Jill Valentine. Now we got 3 links to the game. You got Claire Redfield, she's coming into the fold. Now you got Wesker, the main villain in all the video games. Well, I'm not sure about 7.
No, he wasn't mentioned.
But he's a big baddie in pretty much
Sure.
everything. And then you got the big boss. He's got the little squiggly hot dog fingers.
I'm glad the bosses actually bring all these movies to the game franchise.
He's I mean, it's not the same character, but it is the same monster creature from the second game with the squiggly fingers.
Also, they did a lot of weird airbrushing of Mila Jovovich's face on all the close-up shots. Her
Yeah.
face was like very flattened. So they did that for some reason. When I looked up the movie, everybody was like, "Oh, her face was they digitally airbrushed it." And
Well,
yep.
the director is actually known for like making film innovations. Like this-
Really?
yeah.
Has he done anything else?
His name is Russell McCaughey, and he was the editor for the Buggles video Killed the Radio Star,
It's a great.
which was the first music video played on MTV
Yeah.
in 1981.
Wow.
And then his innovations include the faux widescreen aspect ratio,
Okay.
What's
which
that?
you see in like a Rod Stewart music video. It's when we had standard TVs, you didn't get widescreen, right? So what?
Oh, he put the black
Oh,
bars in?
letterboxing.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was one of his innovations. And then his first feature film was a movie called Razorback. And can you guys guess what this movie's plot was?
Either
Was it
about,
about a wild pig?
I've seen.
Oh my god, it was! I clicked it,
was.
and there's a wild pig!
It's about a giant killer pig.
That's so sick.
Okay.
That was a
Alright,
real...
But his claim to fame was the Highlander movies.
Okay. I mean, who doesn't love Highlander?
He directed
One
the
only.
But then it slowly really goes downhill. The only notable movies I knew was The Shadow and The Scorpion King 2.
Ooh.
And between that, this movie. And then recently he directed 36 episodes of Teen Wolf.
I
Good
mean,
for him.
I'm pretty sure that show is people like it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's well received.
I don't know. Can anybody say anything positive about this movie?
Positive. Mila Jovovich.
Again, going back to Mila because she is the
She is the only draw to this movie, really. This franchise in general.
But
This-
the funny thing about it is, like, she doesn't really talk in this movie either. She has, like,
nope.
5 or 10 lines.
And they're all cliches.
They're all horrible.
But she's got that name. She got that recognition, that Fifth Element draw money.
That's it. That I can only think of her.
What
being
about
like,
her popular clothing line that designed the costume for this movie?
Is that what this movie was? This movie just not only a vehicle for money, but also to promote her clothing
I'm
line?
pretty sure Resident Evil 3 was a jump off springboard for her clothing line with someone else, and then they stopped in 2008.
all the clothes look dusty.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
their
want
thing.
any of the clothes.
No, they're all dirty. This is really actually hard to talk about because not much happened.
Well,
Again.
let's do something else. Okay, so another movie that came out in 2007, which was based on a franchise before coming to the movie theater medium and made more money than Resident Evil, but hasn't sparked a sequel since, is the Simpsons movie. So what is it about the Simpsons movie, which had a movie budget of $75 million, a box office of $527 million?
Why hasn't it returned to theaters?
Why hasn't it
Simpsons.
turned to theaters since 2007?
I think as probably one of the biggest Simpsons fans, definitely in the room,
You are the
Yeah.
biggest Simpsons fan in the
and
room.
probably that I know pretty
You
close
and
to
Eric.
it. Me and
That is
Eric.
it.
I didn't like the movie. When I saw it, I was like really bummed out because at this point we were out of the golden years of The Simpsons, and it just
Yeah.
kind of seemed like fan service. We're gonna do a movie, so I don't know. I can't even really.
But isn't that the point? Like, these movies have all been bad so far.
I think a lot of people weren't happy with how it turned out. I think nobody was expecting to be happy with how Resident Evil turns out. So it's something that
What month did it come out in? Was it like a dumb summer movie, or is it like a winter? Let's do this because I don't have anything else.
Resident
to do?
Evil?
Yeah.
It was along with the January line.
again always in that winter.
Okay,
time
so
frame.
the Simpsons movie's Rotten Tomato score is 88% and the audience score is 77%.
Well, people are dumb.
Right. I mean, it wasn't horrible. It could have
I
been
hated
much,
it.
much worse.
And it's a PG-13 movie. How does this franchise not branch
Well, I
off?
know-
It already makes money.
Well, I think it also the dude Paul W.S. Anderson just wants to make them. I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone's pushing to make more Simpsons movies. He's just like, let
That
me
could be
do it,
fair.
and they probably have a contract or something that he gets to do.
Did
it.
anybody think that this movie was lighter on the CGI than previous?
Yeah, the fingers were the biggest
Yeah,
CGI,
it
but the
wasn't
birds,
as
No,
bad.
the birds
were
the
really
birds.
bad. But they did the birds fast enough that
No, they did not.
No, they were
in
bad.
some scenes it was very glaring.
Okay.
but-
Oh, let's look at what other CGI heavy movies came out in 2007. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
I didn't see
Nobody
that
saw that.
No.
But it made millions and millions, but nobody saw it.
So many millions. Transformers,
one.
millions
oh
and
my God,
millions.
Which one?
the first one.
The first one came out?
Transformers.
The CGI in Transformers is significantly better than any of the CGI in this movie.
Absolutely, but it probably
Yeah.
cost 10 times as much to make.
That's believable.
Probably pretty close. What else came out? Spider-Man 3.
Oh, that was a
Oh,
terrible
I can't
movie.
believe that.
Yeah, 2007.
Yeah, these three, the Resident Evil came out the same year as those
All the
three
Spider-Man.
Spider-Mans.
Yeah, that's cool.
I
I was happy. I was probably a happy kid.
B movie, that was CGI heavy.
B movie.
the B movie. The Mist had CGI, but they hit it in the Mist. So it's kind of probably, I don't know.
Okay, so since this movie went so off the also Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider came out too. That was fun.
So, so since each sequel seems to go off weirdly off of each other, what do you think the next movie will be about? Because I've never seen it.
I've never seen
I
it.
think Dom's
I've
the only
seen
one
it,
that's seen
baby.
it.
I
I
go to
don't-
the theaters to see these suckers.
So Ed, what do you think the movie's gonna be about?
Okay, I think the fourth movie, there's we don't get closure on the helicopter to Alaska. And Alice basically says, "We're coming for you guys with my army, with my clone army of friends."
Oh, the
And,
Clone Wars.
Yeah, so I think that she's gonna hatch all of her clones because there was a lot. They're gonna helicopter to Tokyo, and they're gonna fight those 4 boardroom guys.
Wesker and
Yeah.
the boardroom
Yep.
brothers.
See, no, I think what's going to happen is she's going to release her Alice clones, and they're going to start biting people, and everybody's going to start turning into Alice's.
Do you really think that?
No, but that sounds like a great movie.
That sounds like a better movie.
And Dom has seen it, so he. doesn't
I've
get to
seen
tell
it,
us.
and I am going to say that not that you're both wrong, but you're both wrong.
Oh yeah,
And you will. The disappointment will continue.
fantastic.
So okay, so the 3 movies so far, which is the best?
Rank
one?
them.
Yeah,
rank
rank
'em. Yeah,
Rank them. I'm taking number 2, followed by number 1,
of course.
with number 3 in third.
God, yeah.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to say exactly what Ed said. It's got to go 2 because at least 2.
Action.
It had the action. It had you were in Raccoon City. That's kind of like the game. You had some game characters. Then 1 just because it's not as bad as 3. 3 is awful. It makes my mouth dry because we're in the desert and I just hate it. And there's nothing. I mean, we've said it so many times. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Alice is they're trying to get Alice. They make their attempt. It's a bad attempt. Really, let's send let's send 100 zombies after her to get her. This is our plan.
They tried to shut her off with the satellite too,
I guess.
and it didn't work. But she broke it with her mind.
Yeah, she mind hacked it.
And then again, let's get away. So we run away. We got to do something. We fail at it. Let's run away. The movies follow that simple plot line. And this one kind of even goes even less into it. Also, side note, I hate this one because the dude, I think his name is LJ.
LJ, yeah.
It takes him 3 days to turn into a zombie.
3 full days.
It takes him 3 full days. We've
Yeah,
seen
Carlos.
Carlos turns immediately. Like
Who gets bit by LJ.
gets bit by LJ and then starts to turn like within the hour. And we've seen it in the movies previously that Emrod in number 1, it took her a little while to turn, a couple hours here and there. But this dude, 3 days, and he only started looking like he was bit like in his final hour.
Only during the apex of a action scene. I was gonna say climax, but that would mean that it was the climax of the movie
Right.
of the infinite container of zombies.
So yeah, it's 2-1 and then 3. Of
Yeah,
course,
I think I just agree. I don't really have.
you cannot defend this movie.
I want to make this my second, but the first one's really bad,
The first one is pretty bad,
and the second one is the most entertaining.
It's the least bad.
Yeah.
and the money train just keeps on rolling, boys.
We're hitting up number 4.
It's going.
Well, this is when the franchise finally goes off the rails, right? Because now we're going into a fourth movie. Usually movies end in 3s.
Yeah, you have a trilogy, a solid trilogy.
This is what makes it the Runaway franchise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this next film? So we're gonna take a look next time.
Can we please watch it right now?
Oh man, maybe we're gonna watch it right now, but you'll never know because this is the internet and everything on the internet's a lie.
Oh,
Think about it.
Fake it.
All right. Thanks for stopping by.
is that the Mr. Rogers ending?
I don't know. It felt right.
Thanks for stopping by my neighborhood.
Yep.
Next stop, Resident Evil Afterlife.
Is it called Afterlife?
It is called Afterlife.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh,
All
next
right.
stop on the Runaway Franchise podcast, we go off the rails on the crazy train that is Resident Evil number 4, Afterlife.
I like
That
it more
was-
dramatic. That
yeah,
was
that was
better than
good.
mine. You outdid me.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.